So let's go ahead and get this party started, Liz.
I'm ready for partying.
And we have our first guest that's joining us for our live episode. We're in Fort Worth, by the way, if you just joined us on Facebook. We're in Fort Worth, Texas, live at Scaling New Heights Conference. We're super excited to be here. We're around other people. It's awesome.
Which is the whole reason for the hats.
Yes.
Like,
Oh,
there's
yes.
lots of hats
yes.
in here.
Yeah, I got
You didn't come here with that hat.
I did not. I bought
here.
that hat. Yes.
I think it's a good investment.
It was a great investment. So, Heather Sperduto, can you come and join us? We're
Well,
so excited to have you.
I can join in the party.
Yes,
Happy
we're
hour.
glad that you were here.
This is the best part of the whole day.
Yes.
Oh, well, we think so too.
There you go.
And this whole setup is fun. It's like
Super
behind
fun.
the scenes production crew that's happening over there. We're having a good
It's
time.
amazing.
So, yeah. As far as the people coming over and saying hello, what's been the feel of this conference?
You know, I would tell you all that there was just this energy and a buzz that's electric. You know, I got here Sunday night, and I was saying earlier to some friends and colleagues, and I wasn't sure what to expect. And, you know, I think people are excited to be together and share and learn and really think about their practices and where they're going to go from here. So I couldn't be more pleased. I've been pleasantly surprised. It's just been exceptional to see the amount of people that turned out with the willingness to get better.
I think they're thirsty for each other.
Oh, they are thirsty for each
So
other.
it's just like a sponge. I'm soaking up just as much as I can.
How many of our friends that are here were on the plane to Fort Worth and you couldn't wipe the smile off your face?
Yeah.
Because that was me.
Yeah.
I got in my car to come here and I was just like, I'm going to be with.
I had a
Go ahead.
hard time sleeping the night before.
Yes.
It was, oh my gosh, is this really happening? And I
Right.
did the same thing too. I was like, I don't know what to expect. Like, what am I going to be? Who am I now? I don't even know how I'm supposed to socially behave anymore, but I'm so just thrilled and my heart is just running over.
And I love the theme of the conference this year, which is unstoppable. And Joe Woodard, who's the mastermind, the guy behind Scaling New Heights, was talking about how
Brilliant.
being unstoppable, you know, we just went through a pandemic and we were the financial frontline workers, right? Helping our small business clients to get through the pandemic, to pivot, to find funding, to help their, support their employees. And, this almost feels like a celebration of our community coming together to say we did it. Like we helped our clients. And our community includes the accounting professionals. It includes our developer friends, our partners like ADP, who was amazing during the pandemic by giving us all of these resources that we needed to really quickly help our clients. Right. And just, it would seem like every day we were getting more and more information that were helping us to do our job better. So thank you.
Cheers.
To our friends at
Cheers.
ADP. Yes.
It was not an easy task. I mean, all of us had blank slates, and with the rapid pace of the changes that were coming our way, you all pivoted on a dime and said, hey, okay, so we're going to go from tax season to let's help our clients figure out everything that needs to happen to keep their doors open or partially open or reinvent themselves. And, along the way on our side, on the ADP front, we were just trying to get you what you needed. Right? Like, how could we get the data and help you?
You did it so fast.
You did.
That was the thing that, like, we would ask for something or be thinking about it, and it was like, here's the resource. And the resource center just kept on growing and growing. And then it started having subfolders and directories. I mean, it was just like, there's so much there that you have made available to us that it is powerful.
We have talented individuals within the organization. But they moved and they had to think differently. It was an experience that none of us had ever gone through. But we also tapped into accounting professionals to help. Every step of the way, we would say, okay, we think we have the data right. How does it look? Do you want us to move a column? Is this going to give you the best glimpse to be able to spring forward with your clients? So it was a team effort.
I remember a few years back whenever there was this really big pull to be able to start asking our opinions, asking for our feedback. And that, I really feel like maybe that was 4 years ago. And so ever since that big push to be able to have, this is what we're asking for the feedback from ADP to be able to say, what is it that you need? And we've seen so much of that incorporated, all of the feedback that we've given, and you've just delivered even so much more.
And that's why the conference, the Unstoppable, Scaling New Heights, to be able to be part of this community and hear what's going on in your world, but then where you're thinking of going next. So the sessions have been incredible, from the keynote speakers to the breakouts, whether it's the attendees or the facilitators. It's just been top quality across the board.
Well, it's definitely been a growing experience. I feel like over the last several years, I feel like we have been asking to be able to have more remote access, more remote tools, and to move into that spot. And so I feel like, as bad as the last 24 months have been, there have been some amazing wins that have came out of it.
Absolutely. We've had to pivot. And so those accounting professionals that were kind of hesitant to move to a virtual company, they were forced to move that way. And I think that you're saying that, accountants are getting better work-life balance, right? Because they have the ability to work at home. They have the ability to work where they want to. I was just speaking to an accounting professional that was saying, in next year for 2 months, they're planning to pick up and go to like an island and run their practice for 2 months from an island.
Whoa,
Can I go?
Test. Like,
right?
Can I go?
Right,
That would
right.
be great.
In the luggage, I'll go. Like, it doesn't really matter. Just getting there.
And I know you do work from, so Liz bought a fifth wheel, and her favorite thing is to go camping with her fifth wheel with her family. And so she can work from there.
Yeah, so. I want to be at the lake. I enjoy the lake life because, it really being immersed in all of our multiple monitors and all of our tech. I love it and I need it, but every once in a while I need to break free of that cage and I've got to go see other things. I've got to go do other experiences. So we have to have something that balances us. A hobby, something.
I'll ride your coattails if that's okay.
Yeah.
Come for the ride.
2 bathrooms.
I think we need a camp.
Yeah.
I think we all need to go to camp. What do you guys think?
Well, there you go.
Do you think we need to go to camp? I think that needs to happen.
Happy hour unicorn camp.
Happy hour unicorn camp? What? Could that be a thing?
I think it could be. I think it could be definitely a thing.
But I think all of us, we keep using the terminology internally with our associates and leaders about designing your day. And I think if you look at some of the lessons learned, it's how do you meet people where they want to be met? And some people want to be met virtually, and it's more efficient and productive for them. And I think we've learned we could do that and we could accomplish that. But there's an in-person interaction that might be missed. And how do you create those quality interactions where you ultimately get the best of all of these worlds?
Okay. Go ahead.
I was going to share. So my team is completely virtual. So Katie, who you all just met, Katie lives in Michigan. And I'm in Rhode Island. And we have team members in Kentucky and in Virginia and Colorado. And we are completely connected all day. We don't feel disconnected. And we do things like we'll have virtual team building meetings where we'll do escape rooms or, so you can stay connected. And even with the clients, having things like that is good. But you're right. There is that dynamic in person. And we're lucky enough to be experiencing that right now.
Right now. And I think that's why there's so many people who are just embracing each other.
Yes.
And so one of the things I'm going to say, there is a thing, a dream come true that has happened because of the last 24 months. And that is, we were ready for virtual. We've been virtual, but our clients have done this little pushback thing and they just have not embraced it as well. And because of this, on the flip side, now they absolutely understand that is the wave of the future. They get it.
They do.
We're able to make better money because we're more efficient than ever before. One of the other things, so that's a huge win for us. Yeah, it's a big deal. I mean, it's a big deal. We're not going backwards. So no, we're not coming to see you. We are staying virtual. It's way more efficient. But one of the things that we've also seen during this time where we've had to hunker down is we've hunkered down and made partnerships with each other.
Yes.
And so ADP has done a stellar job of making connections with other platforms.
Yes.
And so to be able to say, we get it, that all of us need solutions, not a solution. And so to have those partnerships and having I mean, you're leading the way in a lot of those partnerships to be able to say, let's embrace each other so that we have a platform where we can embrace it and have a great behind the scenes partnerships.
Well, we have creative minds that build, and they're exceptional at what they do. They build technology. We have people that service. But to your point, we also know, when do we look to partner? And if there are best-in-class organizations that we could seamlessly interface with and give our clients a holistic approach, that's our goal. And we have the marketplace, the ADP marketplace, and we have hundreds and hundreds of partners that are in that environment that our clients can tap into. And beyond the scope of what we can do, they bring it into this approach that allows the clients to seek out that best-in-class but stay connected.
I think that's a shining moment in our community. Like for us, we want it to all work. We need to be able to do our jobs. We need to be able to just log in. And so to know that on the back end, these connections are happening, and they're happening to be able to make sure that we can do our jobs. Bravo.
And I also think a big part of it is, our clients, one of the most important things that we hear from our clients, and I'm sure you guys hear it too, is our clients want to be heard, right? They don't want us to just talk at them, and they want to be heard. They want us to be empathetic. And that's what we feel from partners like ADP, right? They listen, they ask, we want to hear how you're feeling. What are your clients feeling? And you welcome that feedback, and you ask for it. And I love that. So
it's appreciated.
It is very much appreciated.
The efforts that you go to embrace our feedback, we feel it.
Mm-hmm.
And it is something that is invaluable.
Well, that's how we learn. And sometimes the feedback's not always great, but you got to take it on the chin and figure out, where do you go next? Right? There's something wrong. How do you figure out how to navigate and ultimately give the clients what they're looking for?
Well, I remember my good friend Allison Ball said to me, she said, feedback is a gift. It's a gift. And you need to accept it willingly and thankfully, graciously, and then learn from it.
And grow from it.
And grow from it.
Yep.
Yes.
So, like so many of you, we all have fails, and it's like the failing forward. You learn and you go forward.
Absolutely.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
So Heather, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure. It was good to see you all in person. I wish you guys such a great Appy Hour. I know we have some other guests going on, so I'm going to leave the hot seat and I'm going to make room for your next guest.
Well,
thanks so much.
My pleasure.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, I love Heather. I had the honor of presenting with her this morning, and it was absolutely fantastic.
She's amazing.
She is amazing. Always kills it.
So we would like to welcome next over to the Appy Hour, Chris from Licio. So welcome.
Hey,
come on over. How are you? Take a seat.
Yes. I love it.
So how have you been doing during the conference?
Awesome. Get a chance to see everybody. Like, we haven't seen each other in person for how long?
Too long. And so this is welcome.
Yeah, it's needed. I think, for our team, we get a chance to meet all the customers we've been serving for the last couple of years. And it's been actually for us a chance to meet some of our own staff. I hadn't met Brandon before in person, so did that here for the first time. And it's just, it's just a great feeling.
Yeah, it's that whole thing where they have legs, they have their
Exactly.
It's like
he's a lot taller than I thought he was, the whole thing.
Right, or shorter.
Yeah.
I actually met Katie, my operations manager, in person for the first time here as well. So it's pretty amazing.
You can build relationships online. I mean, that's totally happening.
Yeah.
But then whenever you get to see each other in person, it makes it all that more special, and you learn the dynamics of each other. So what kind of questions are people asking you whenever they're coming over to Licio?
I think probably the biggest thing right now is people have heard about us, right? And I think a lot of the peers are talking about education going on.
Buzz.
Yeah, the buzz has been really good. And I think the questions are, how can you help? I mean, everybody went through what was probably the busiest 2 years that anybody's ever really had. And I think everybody at the show has always been really into new ideas, but I think this year is another level up with regard to, hey, I really want to make that change.
I think that we were all in pain the last 2 years in different ways, but it was a painful experience, but it made us rely on each other.
Yeah.
And I think it made us be open with each other and to actually share what we're feeling, and not just to stumble through it, but to actually say what it is that we're feeling. And so I think that there's a lot of truth that came out of sharing and embracing each other.
Yeah, there's a lot more bravery around the challenges that everybody's having. Like, I think it was always easier to put on a face like, you talk to any software vendor or any firm or anything, it's like everything's always great. And then over the last 2 years, it's like, well, it's great, but, right?
Right.
Yeah. So I think a lot of the conversations we're having this year are about, hey, how should we be thinking about practice? How should we be thinking about what our peers are doing? And, some of the problems we've been experiencing are real, whether it's security or whether it's staff retention or client retention, all that kind of stuff. There's a lot more stuff that's kind of bubbling up.
Well, and so one of the other things that we've all felt is that we've needed to grow our technology. We knew that there were some holes, but now being 100% remote, now having clients that have embraced that that's happening, being able to have awesome tools to fill in those gaps that we know exist. So some of the questions that you're getting, are they asking you about that client experience?
I think so. And I think, probably one of the biggest things, Liz, is before there was an assumption that clients would not do X. And over the last 2 years, we had people who literally were in their 80s and 90s, and we do client support. So we were getting a lot of people in their 80s and 90s using their tablets at home, coming saying, look, I can't go see my accountant. I'm going to do this thing remotely for the first time. And guess what? It worked. And so now, like a lot of the taboos, I think before, and I'll speak from my personal belief, if you asked me 10 years ago, would you ever allow for full work from home? I'd say, no way. Are you kidding me? Now I'm thinking, well, how much office space do we really need?
Right. I think everybody's thinking that.
And if we do have office space, what's it going to look like? Right. And so that wall has come down. Like, we know remote work is here. That's not going anywhere. I personally can't imagine myself going 8 to 6 in an office again ever. Like,
no shoes for me. No thanks.
Are you wearing shoes now? Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, these are my Slytherin shoes.
Right. Those are the best shoes.
Yeah.
And Chris, you guys really invested in our community here. You had an entire track that was devoted to the client experience. And that's so important because we have to be empathetic. We have to be thinking about how do our clients want to work with us and how can we support them in the best way. Can you tell us a little bit about that track that you designed and delivered here?
Yeah, I think the track was really, it's a client experience track. And it stems from the notion that if our clients aren't successful, we're not successful. And you think about all the empathy, we spend a lot of time with a lot of firms. Who hasn't gone through the helping shoulder the burden with the client that was really struggling, right? And for a lot of firms, there's many, right? You got to be the empathetic shoulder. You have to be the person helping them navigate all the change, et cetera. And that was on top of, in addition to, all of the other work that was happening. And so there's this whole idea that if the more stuff we put in between us and our client, more hurdles, more things we have to do to chase them, all this kind of thing, that isn't helpful.
No.
Right. And so when COVID broke, we didn't know how long it was going to be, but we just took to our company and said, look, what can we do right now that's going to enable, people to get things done more quickly? We started building feature after feature for the last 18 months. And we're like, okay, we've made some progress. But, I think the role of the accounting profession going forward is going to be very different.
I agree with that.
Yeah, it's going to be much better, right, for everybody. If the client's successful, then our work is that much easier.
So our jobs are hard. Like, not everybody could do this. It's a special, unique environment, and I think that that's why we're so close, is that we understand and we appreciate each other. We understand the hours that we put into it. And so being heads down and looking at our tech stacks, looking at what we were doing, looking at the client communication, understanding that what they don't see what's happening in the back office. This is invisible to them. And so being able to do things that are very client forward facing, I think that helps them to understand, one, we stay up all night thinking about our clients. They don't know that.
Yep.
And sometimes whenever we send out messages to them, it's very dry. I need now. And so being able to have an experience with them in that customer service piece, I think we've been missing that.
I think I started my career with Arthur Anderson, right? And I was always very grateful because I thought that one of the best gifts I got was the metronome. I call it the metronome, which is you show up, you're there, you're punctual, and you work until the work is done. And I think the accounting profession at large has had that mentality. Like, the clients need help, we're going to do whatever it takes at great expense to ourselves, to our families, to our friends, sometimes to our health,
change.
right?
Yes.
And then I was very grateful for it, because I'm like, oh, it set up a habit. And I thought that habit was good. Then I'm going to turn 50 this year, right? And I think this idea was, I have a child at home. He was born just before the pandemic, right? And yeah, which is like the best. It's the best thing ever. It's the greatest gift ever. But then there's no time. With that mentality, giving everything to clients, giving everything to work, and then piling on. We have to get back to balance. And so, if we take a really, really good look at what we're doing and analyze, like, look, every hour I spend doing something else is now not with family or not with something I want to do.
It's smart to think about that way. So if I'm doing this, I'm not doing that. So,
and I think one of the great things about our community here and the accounting community as a whole is that we can focus on what we're really, really good at. And then we can find other members of our community that are doing other things really, really well, and we can work together.
Yeah.
And that provides the best client experience, because then they're getting best in class service across the board, and they have a whole team.
We need buttons that say, like, what field are we in, so we can start referring to each other. It's like when you walk up to somebody, it's like e-commerce.
Right.
Oh, you're one of those.
Yeah.
Manufacturing. Those are going to be those own unicorns. It's like, we need those people that are hanging out.
It makes sense though, right? Because we have all those people. If you have this whole, if you can put all the chairs around the client, and every one of those chairs can be proactive.
Yes.
The client doesn't have to ask. It seems like no doubt we want to be there. So what's the shortest line between today and there? And I feel like for the first time, because I'll speak just from a software developer's perspective, the open APIs are there, right? You've been on this app, you're trained forever, right? Direct integrations are meaningful. And I think what happened with the pandemic, certainly we saw a lot more partners come out saying, we're going to have an open API, right? We're not going to try to build these walls around our data silo and try to keep everybody, in our little 1980s MBA thinking of capturing a customer and not letting data out. That is actually fully changing right now, which is going to make all of this next level stuff really possible.
Well, so, talking about next level stuff, one of the things that we saw, and Heather and I saw it over and over again, is that we saw that development was building out hardcore during this last 24 months.
Absolutely, yes.
We were locked in our homes.
And all this thinking, all this like brain power came out in these massive updates. And these massive partnerships. So I think that we were hungry for each other too. And so there have been some really great partnerships that Lisio has made.
Yeah.
And so do you want to share like who all you've like really made some deep connections with?
Yeah, I think what's great about this is, we talk about these are partnerships that were non-obvious going into the pandemic, but SmartVault's a great one. Because they've been doing everything, from back office to front office, et cetera. They said, look, we're really, really good at back office, right? And if somebody wants to have a different front office experience, we're willing to set aside the fact that we have made substantial investments in that area. We're going to set that aside and we're going to say, look, for people who want the best of breed, let's go ahead and open that up. So Fritz from there, from the company, and I sat down today and we took it, what's the next level? What's the next 90 days? And what's the next 180 days? So let's go deeper. Let's double down on it. And we get enthused because who wants to feel like they are in this bizarre competition with one another when they're really, the Venn diagram, of course the Venn diagram touches a little bit, overlaps a bit, but the reality is it feels better to work together and to see the reactions from our clients' perspective when we do that. That's the reward. So that was a good one.
I agree. So, I think many of us are SmartVault users and have been supporters because they've been with us for so long.
Yeah.
And they have some amazing things that are built in and structured. But you are right. It's okay to say they are not client facing. And so it's really nice to be able to have something that is. And so being able to understand where all of it belongs and what is your app stack, that's key to being able to say, this is the flow of the things that we do over and over again. And I believe that our community is getting more of this mindset of, this is my app stack. Like, this is what we do. This is how we do it. And so taskless, like we love client taskless. That's one of the things that you shine at.
Absolutely.
Being able to communicate with the team and
And I love what you just said. We're talking about the client facing, and you're saying smart vault. They don't really see that behind the scenes, right? I think that's really important for us as firm owners, is to make it as easy as possible for our clients, right? That's what the client experience is
And
all
us.
about. Yeah, and us, right?
Yeah.
So when you give us a tool, like for example, you have a new integration with Carbon, and I'm a Carbon user. And so what that allows me to do is I want to have one point of entry into our firm, right? But I love how the workflow is in Carbon and how my team is able to communicate and how we're able to stay on track of the engagements that we're working on. So that integration really excites me. And we've got that on our roadmap for our firm. To get Liscio in front so that it's easy for our clients and that they are getting their notifications quickly, they know what to do, but we still have the power of Carbon,
Yeah, Carbon's going to keep you organized, right?
Exactly.
And then Liscio will keep your client organized.
Exactly.
And so if everybody's organized, well, everything's organized.
Right.
So it seems really, really simple. And I think people have to get over their own developer's ego, right? The developer's ego is a real thing. Right. Yeah. And everybody says, hey, I can develop something better. And then everything turns into a contest. I think we've kind of moved from being in a contest to being in a collaborative, kind of a mode.
And competitions can be healthy.
It
can be.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
We're pushing each other to be better. But I think we're going to see, really interesting dichotomy here, which is some people are going to say, look, we're still going to go all the way alone. The other side saying, we're going to be open to what the best thinking is in the market and what we're getting in terms of feedback from clients, and we're going to collaborate. And I've got a pretty strong opinion as which one's going to be able to move faster and be more successful.
Do you know what I think is coming next?
What?
I mean, we already have it here, but I think it's going to be coming next is single sign-on.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we want. We want to be able to be in something that's secure. You sign on, everything's there is right there. Yes. And then whenever you have a client come on, whenever you have a team member come on, it deploys the entire stack.
Yes.
Here it is. This is what we do. And so single sign-on.
Single sign-on with biometric, right?
Yes.
FIDO2 standard is coming out. I think 2022 we'll see that.
That's amazing.
I think we will too.
No, I think so too.
Because it's happening. It's happening.
It's happening. Yeah. It's
But
here.
it's not mainstream yet. So.
Yes.
Yeah, because the MFA is great, but people aren't using it like they should because it's harder.
Right.
But I think we start doing the biometric stuff. That's just a game changer.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I agree. Well, I appreciate you.
Yes, thank you so much.
To share with us. And thank you for being part of the Appy Hour and coming on and sharing these partnerships that you've been making.
So you guys are wonderful. So thanks, Liz. Thanks, Heather.
Thank
See you soon.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. Wow.
I had a really amazing
We really.
time.
And I love Crisio and
Allison O.
Liscio.
Allison O and Liscio.
Alicia.
Yes. It was
Alicia.
Alicio, that's right. Alicia.
So
right.
Allison Ball had designed these shirts,
Yeah.
and I saw them, and I was like, "Did you do that?" Because it has you written all over it, and so very, very cute shirts that she incorporated everybody's names on.
Speaking of shirts, the swag here has been pretty amazing.
I know, I wanted to make sure that I brought an extra bag to to take it home. I miss swag.
I know, and we have Appy Hour swag here. So if you're at Scaling New Heights and you're watching this, there's swag here.
Yes.
Come and get it, right? Come and get it. So we have our next guest. So
Welcome.
Come on over. Welcome. So
We are
have
super glad that you're here.
Hello.
Joshua.
Hi.
Hi. Thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah.
So you guys know that Practice Ignition is one of my buds.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So what are you guys seeing at the conference this year?
Yeah, I mean, we're a lot of people excited about the app, about some of the new features that we have in place, and so it's been really good to just to talk with people, see people in real life again.
I agree. It feels great. It's great. So
Yeah.
whenever people are coming over to Practice Ignition, what are they asking right now? What do you hear repeatedly?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is around payments, do electronic payments, how I can get that set up, recurring, and then just how do I integrate that in with the other things I do, right? So
Right.
Making sure that, we can integrate it with QuickBooks Online and that sort of thing to kind of automate their kind of practice.
Do people get wowed by your templates?
They do. Yeah,
Yeah.
it does. That's a huge feature that we have that we rolled out recently. That allows us to put those templates in place. You can customize it, make it work for your firm on how you want that to work, and then ultimately really save a lot of time in proposals.
I was at your booth yesterday, and we were talking about your new web connector.
Yeah.
And so tell us, this was cool because I taught a session here on automating your client onboarding. And I was talking about, we're gathering the information in the qualifying stage of sales. And we have a process that is automated, but what you guys showed me took it to that next level. So can you tell us a little bit about that? Because that's new for you guys too.
Yeah. So the web connector is a way for us to integrate into your website. And really what that allows us to do is put the kind of services that you offer on your site, and your clients can kind of pick and choose what they want. And by doing so, they will kind of create that draft proposal. You get notified, and then you can make your tweaks to it, send it off to your client for them to sign, and then you have a new client here in just a matter of minutes.
Well, okay, so we all like to have our own unique secret sauce or spices. Like we each have the thing that we like to say or do. I mean, like the reason that we go into business, there's words behind that. And so whenever we want to use those words to share those with our people that are coming on board, but we don't always want to start from scratch.
Right.
No.
So
No.
it's time consuming. It's so time consuming. So the amount of templates that you have to be able to start from and then to pull in our flavor.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It saves us so much time.
Yeah. It's a great feature. It really allows you to get going quickly. We have all the kind of base services in there. So it's just a matter of taking it, customizing it to your flavor, your voice, what you want to say. And then you have templates ready to go anytime you need to sell a new bookkeeping service or sell a tax return. And literally you can get that done in like a minute.
And one of the other things that's really cool in there is there's suggested prices. Like
Yes.
that's kind of fun. Like you want to
Suggested
know what are
prices.
your friends charging? Well, there's a little bit of a teaser in there to say, well, this is what other people like you for that service they're charging.
No, it is. It's very cool.
Yeah, it gives a great way to kind of benchmark yourself. So if you're looking like, ooh, I'm way under bill here, like, hey, I need to raise my prices.
And I love the brochure. So you can create a really cool brochure. Katie, my unicorn, has created our brochures. And so you just upload them. So you're sending it. It says you can include information about your firm, your branding. You just make it your own. And I love that. So what's even better is when we go through that whole sales process, we send the engagement letter, we send it to the client, they sign it, and we never have to bill our clients again.
Right.
Well,
that's kind of awesome.
Yeah.
So, one of the things I really like about it is, okay, we're really smart. We're all really smart people.
We are really
but
smart.
When we send out stuff to our clients because we just threw it together because that's low priority stuff, we don't always put that best foot forward.
Right.
And so they're looking at it because they don't understand some of the back end stuff. They're looking at what we just gave them and they're like, oh my gosh. And so being able to have that professional from the beginning to say this is who we are, I think that really matters.
It really does matter, absolutely. And you hear it from your clients. Like that was just a really slick, onboarding process.
It's a good place to start.
It really is.
You're wanting to say, hey, I'm best of breed. I'm going to be charging XYZ and I'm worth it. You need some type of presentation to say, this is why.
You have to make that professional look. Otherwise, if you're trying to ask for this price and you're throwing together some really kind of crappy, you're not, it doesn't make any sense, right? So having that brand and that professionalism, we'll even create the brochure for you. So if you need that marketing piece, we'll do it for you for free. And really have that really branded so it's really professional for you.
Yeah, our rep at Practice Ignition, Ruby, that's our rep. So she's amazing, and she checks in with us at least every month or every other month just to say, hey, we've got new features. Can I show you what they look like? We're already customers. Like, she's coming very proactively to make sure that we know what's happening and helping us to grow with Practice Ignition. Because you get it set up and then you kind of forget about it and you don't realize, wow, you can now have 3 different pricing tiers. Like that's a totally new feature for you guys during the pandemic.
Do the 3 tiers and releasing new features all the time. So there's always something new that we're adding
new
on.
Integrations.
All right, so
new integrations.
What are you liking right now that's you've been adding on or integrations?
Yes, we just announced integration with Gusto last week, which from a standpoint, we could pull in the client's data into Practice Ignition. But the cool thing with it is we can do smart billing now. So if you bill for payroll by number of employees. We can pull the employee number in from Gusto, update your billing, and send it out with you having to adjust.
Okay, so it's these little golden nuggets of things that are happening, because switching gears over and over again in our world takes us time. That is money, that is time.
And
Just little stuff.
all I'm going to say here is that you listened to a bunch of accounting professionals that said it would be really cool if you could connect to Gusto and read how many employees my client has, and then we can automate it. And you listened to that, and then you made it happen. Like that's magic.
Yeah, so that's been a big new one for us. We also just added multiple signatures on proposals. So if you need more people to sign a proposal, maybe it's for a joint 1040, maybe it's for a partnership return, we now can offer that as well. So
it's fantastic.
Sign,
That is really nice, multiple signatures. So as far as being here, hearing the people, they're wanting the easy payments, they're wanting something to begin, so speaking to that, one of the things that happens is those people come on sometimes as projects, and to set them up is a pain. And we're not invoicing fast enough because it's like one more step.
Right.
So that is a time drain.
Automate that invoicing process, make it easy for you, so you're not forgetting, I did an invoice on that. It happened already. You got the money on it. You're all good.
So they're sending out the engagement. The engagement's then saying, okay, boom, you've signed it now. Let's receive payment. Let's get started.
Well, great.
Get started with the money.
Let's
do it. Show me the money.
Right. That's right. Yeah.
All right. So anything else that you want to share that's been happening over in the PI world?
So we have a lot of cool new features coming down the road. I can't say right now, but there's a lot more of these integrations where we're doing smart billing and
you say I can't, and I'm like,
but a lot of cool new things coming out here. So every month or so we're releasing new features based on things that we hear from our customers, right? That's the key, because we're hearing that and we're going to make those changes and push those in. So watch for some cool new stuff coming here in the next month or two.
So, okay, some more questions. Like when people want to embrace PI, what level of the firm size do they normally say this is the perfect time?
I think it can be really any size, but once you start to have a number of clients, start maybe having an employee, that's usually when you get to the point where you have enough activity where it really makes sense for us to kind of be taking care of all that stuff for you. So, but we work with companies that are small solopreneurs to top 10 accounting firms in the country, right? So, we kind of run that.
Some growth there. Some growth opportunity. So, whenever I'm thinking about those multi-people firms, one of the reasons that I like the idea of these standardized templates is that we're not selling different things. And it has happened before. We have multiple pro advisors in our firm that somebody will reach out to one pro advisor and then they'll reach out to a different pro advisor because they see the pro advisor profiles. And if they are all in the same place coming back for the CRM, then they know have they been contacted before and what services were offered and at what prices.
I think that's the thing, just standardizing that process as much as possible. I think is key, because as you grow your firm, you can't be just doing bespoke work all over the place. It's going to be frustrating for your team. It's going to be frustrating for your clients. And so standardizing that process, making it, so every time you do a bookkeeping service or every time you do a tax return, it's the same scope of services in there. It really allows you to kind of scale that process with your firm and ensure that, you're doing the right work each and every time.
And so standardizing like the services that you're offering to be able to say, if you're doing something quarterly, well, what is included in that in quarterly? Because does every team member know what quarterly means? Does everybody know what, whenever we're going to do an integration, they know what those words mean? And so having something that's standard.
And I think it's helpful for the clients too, because sometimes if a client comes to you and they may think bookkeeping services means one thing and you mean it to be another, right? And so having that standardized, so they see, okay, this is exactly what's in that scope of services and what you get and what you don't get. It makes it easier for you to sell that service to your clients.
Well, you get stronger in the repeatable stuff.
You do.
The one-off stuff always takes us longer. Than saying this is what we offer.
And one of the things that I've learned the hard way, but now I do it, is that when we're doing those one-off stuff, template it anyway. right?
Yep.
Because you're gonna do it again.
Right.
Like you're
Yeah.
thinking, this is a one-off. This is, and then before you know it, you're like, wait, I did that. Maybe it's 6 months ago.
Right. Yeah.
But now and then you start doing it. So template it anyway.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
Template it anyway.
We want to template it anyway.
Yeah.
And capturing the words one time then allows you to come back later and you can tweak it.
Yeah.
You can tweak things.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if you have to start from scratch over and over again, it for me, it's like, oh, I have to have that part of my brain available.
Yeah.
And that part of my brain is only available sometimes in the morning
Right.
before
Right.
anything
Right.
else
Yeah.
Like a
happens.
fixed, yeah,
Yeah.
there's a,
So if that client calls
window
me
of
at
opportunity.
3 p.m.
Yeah.
at 3 p.m., I'm not at my best, and
Right.
I'm not going to be able to give
Yeah.
a great presentation. So knowing that I created a different day whenever I
Yeah.
was on it,
Right,
I was
yeah.
fresh with
Yeah.
coffee.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That,
Yep.
that lets us pull out our superpowers.
Exactly. Yeah.
thank you so much for
Yeah,
joining
thank
us.
you.
This has
Thank
been
you for having me. Yeah.
fantastic.
Thankful that you're
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome.
Glad that you came on the show.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Thank you.
All
Yeah.
right.
We will be
Awesome.
seeing you around. Everybody
Yeah.
make sure that you go and check out the PI
Yeah,
booth.
definitely.
Come visit us. See ya. Thank you.
All right. Thanks.
Um,
Awesome.
You know, good
Yeah.
stuff.
Good stuff. Really, really good stuff. So,
Well, so we want to tell you that the next person that's coming on has had some fun things happening over in their booth. So would you like to come and join us?
I certainly will.
Mhm,
I'd like
yeah,
to test out this chair, but we'll see.
please do.
you
Yeah.
know, I'm sitting here between the two, you guys, I don't even think they can see it, but I'm sitting here between these two amazing pairs of shoes. And I'm
Oh.
feeling like my shoes, but I have the hat.
There you
So-
go. You do.
Yeah, talk-
All right.
talk
I
to
couldn't.
them
I
about
couldn't
it.
pull off the
You're
hat.
No, but you guys have like,
There were plenty of group hat purchases since we've arrived. I was not one of them.
no,
No,
No.
No,
I couldn't do it.
Shoes. Like
The shoes were. Yeah, the shoes are a little loud.
I love them.
They are.
So for,
We're all fun.
you can't see the shoes, but his shoes are the color of his lovely. Oh, there he
There
goes.
we go.
Oh, there we
There
go.
you go.
All right,
You
here's
can
the
do a
shoes.
lovely shoe.
Yes, there's the
There
shoes.
you
We have
go.
Slytherin shoes and we have Avalera shoes.
Avalera orange.
Avalera,
right.
and he has the
Always.
Avalera socks.
We are not
Yeah.
going to
Yeah.
lose you
Yeah.
late at night.
That's
Right.
You are going
for
to-
sure.
Yeah, no, you
Yeah,
And-
if you come to one of our office locations, Durham, Seattle, at lunchtime, it can get pretty loud outside with all of us walking around.
Talking about loud, you've been having like some things going over on your corner. Like there's a Avalera corner.
Oh,
That's
Oh my
right. Good. I
gosh,
thought that
it's
was going to be a
amazing.
personal attack for a second on me being loud, but I'm happy that it's group focused. I can deal with that.
It's great group activities.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yesterday there was a real longhorn steer.
There
yeah,
was.
like a live
I mean-
one.
Yeah.
Like it was big.
He was so
Yeah,
well
yeah.
behaved.
He was so
He
cute.
was. Yeah. His name is Gus.
Gus.
He's 7 years
Gus is
old.
great.
He was just under 2,000 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gus. Okay. So
Wait, and then today there's
armadillo.
Armadillo.
Does armadillo have a name?
They were named Ava and Lara.
Ava
Were
and Lara.
were the
Oh
two
my
armadillos
gosh.
that are out
I
there.
only saw one of them.
One was sleeping. They're both out there now for about another 45 minutes.
Okay,
All right.
so go see Ava and,
and
Lara.
Lara.
That's right.
I love it.
The armadillos.
I love it.
Yeah, they feel totally different than what I expected them to feel like.
Yes, I had never witnessed an armadillo or a steer my entire life, being born in New Jersey, and I can tell you it was quite the surprise for me as well.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was an
Yeah.
experience. I got up there, my big self got up there, and
I got up there
On the
too.
steer,
Yeah.
so
Did you?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
did.
that was with you.
So whenever I saw it, he was moving so slowly that I honestly thought that he was fey.
oh, we had one of those yesterday. I don't remember the gentleman's name, but he waited in line about 10 people deep, and right before there was a sudden movement that Gus had, and he got shook and stepped back a little bit. He was unaware that he was a live steer.
Well,
Oh my
I believe
gosh.
that because
Yeah.
So this is the way that it worked. You got on top of Gus.
You did.
And Gus
Yeah.
is facing this way, so that
Yeah.
way it's really easy for you to get on Gus.
Yeah.
And then the handler would know it's time to take the picture, and Gus, with
Would
his
move his
mighty
head. Oh, yeah.
horns, would do this.
Yes.
That's
He would
right.
like turn his head towards the camera and he'd
Oh,
take the picture.
He was a
He was so cute.
show
He
stealer.
was.
He was.
That he
He
was.
was.
Yeah.
Show
Yes.
stealer.
Yeah, I was saying, like, it's probably the only time that you'll see a steer indoors walking past the Tesla that was there.
Oh,
It was a
right.
different,
Tesla,
it was a
right,
different
right.
experience entering and exiting the building with that large animal,
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
I bet. Yeah, he was very well behaved.
for sure.
not his bucket.
Yeah.
So what are you hearing? So sorry. What are you hearing at the show? Why are people coming over? What are they talking about?
Yeah, so just like a lot of our customers, right? It's just helping to gain clarity with a lot of the rule and law changes over the last few years around sales tax compliance. Just really trying to get an understanding. It's really what we've been hearing over the last couple of days.
So understanding, you're saying, hey, all these people are selling online and they have no idea.
Yeah, where are
what
my
the rules
obligations?
are.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of terrifying.
Yeah,
It's kind of
and it could be different tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's our job
yeah.
to maintain
Yeah.
that.
Which we're so thankful.
That's right.
So Heather and I have had the pleasure of going on the road and teaching advanced cert. And one of the parts that everybody holds their breath for, and they're like, or they just get up and go to the bathroom, is the sales tax piece.
Yeah.
Because it's
It is.
painful.
It is.
And it's one of the most difficult things that we have, but it's one of those things our clients desperately need.
Yeah.
And we could spend hours and hours doing the sales tax, but it's like, no, why?
That's right.
And we're not.
Or you can just hand it off
And
to
have
someone
the
that's going to
experts.
guarantee accuracy all day.
And
Yeah,
really,
I like that.
the client doesn't care that
That's right.
it's not us. We made that introduction, so it doesn't mean that it's any less valuable.
Yeah.
They just want it to be right, and they want it so that they don't have to think about it.
Correct.
That's
Yeah.
They want
That's
us
the
to
end goal.
think about what's the when do they meet their threshold in that state?
yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And every state's different, right? There's some common themes as you work from state to state, but there's differences literally in every single state. Not only from jurisdiction, but product and service taxability.
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole different ballgame that we help with as well.
And the states are getting serious about it.
For sure.
They've been serious about
Yeah.
it, but they see the value.
And sales tax audits are not. They're not.
It's
they're not
nothing
a
that
good
you want to
one.
deal with.
No,
Yeah.
it really isn't.
It's all the
No.
paper comes out.
That's right. And
All
this
of it.
technology is advancing, and sales tax being such a large part of state budgets, it's only going to continue
You're
to
not
grow.
wrong about that. So the state's budgets are really relying on that sales tax.
They are.
That's where they're making their
Mhm.
money. Like
They
we're
are.
still consuming. We haven't stopped that behavior, and so they need their dollars.
For sure.
And sales tax is one of those that they're gonna even more so come after, I believe.
Yeah.
Online sales.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the sessions yesterday was sort of highlighting some uncertainty from the state standpoint, right? When COVID started and when retail stopped and sales tax stopped being collected in retail, there was a big fear out there, right? And started to really create some state deficits. So they're not gonna operate like that for long.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No, they're not going to. And gone is this idea that I'm under the radar. I mean, like, oh my gosh, no, you're not.
Yeah, if
selling
you're in business
online.
long enough,
Come
I
on.
mean,
yeah,
it's
they're
Yeah.
looking, yeah.
Yeah, well, these
absolutely.
people, I mean, they don't quite understand that all these reports are all connected, guys.
Yeah.
So
One of the
gotta
things
be on top of it.
I love about Avalara is it connects into so many things,
Oh,
right? It
yeah.
connects into so many things. So it I don't want to say no matter what you're using, but pretty much no matter what you're using, you have a
Yeah,
connection
it's-
somewhere.
it's a very rare conversation that we have where we do not have a solution for some type of accounting platform.
Exactly.
I think we're about 1,100 different accounting systems that we're plugged into at this point.
Well, and so often behind the scenes, you're powering that point of sale solution
For sure.
or that sales channel.
Yep.
And so Shopify, whenever I've got a client who is over in Shopify, I'm always
Correct.
going to
Always, yeah.
recommend
That's right.
AppTax.
Yeah.
So you're not only doing sales tax though. You guys are dipping your toe into some. I mean, you have the cert.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, you've got the cert. You guys you had some big acquisitions.
Correct.
Yeah. So what can you
Right?
tell us?
Yeah, what can you tell us?
Yeah, so we've had a few core products, right, for the last 14, 15 years, right, and that's sales tax automation for business and compliance from calculation or remittance back to the government, and certificate management, so exemption certificates, resale certificates, etc., and then our returns business as well. But TTR was one of our major acquisitions over the last, I think that was October of 2020, which has been awesome. They service a large percentage of the Fortune 500, and the content that they've been able to provide really, helps empower our tax engine.
So you said TTR.
Correct.
You want to elaborate with your TTR?
Yeah. So TTR it's really an amazing tool and an awesome complement to us. So what they're able to really assist with is a lot of the product and service taxability, the niche situations that you don't come across every day, that's not pre-built or baked into different software. We're able to step in and make sure that we can provide a solution for them right? Scott McFarlane, our CEO's goal is to be part of every transaction in the world, and we're just working our way through.
You
That's
are.
amazing.
Wow. Okay. Every transaction in the world. That's
right. There's a lot.
Go big.
And there was a stat out there, and there's a lot of ground left to cover for us.
Amazing.
Well,
yeah.
So anything else you want to share that's happening behind the scenes that's over there?
I'm not the guy that has too much information behind the scenes, but I can tell you, in my experience, you never know what's going to happen with us, right? We got into streamlining some 1099 processes recently, recent acquisition of Davo, helping us out with the POS side and brick and mortar locations. So I'd assume that footprint will continue to expand.
That's awesome. So Davo, do you want to share anything about Davo?
So Davo is, a recent acquisition to us, 8-9 months ago, I think at this point in time. One of their founders is here with us as well. But that's really helping with the POS integrations, brick and mortar locations,
Nice.
Big into, the franchises, restaurant industry as well.
So that's exciting for us. Like whenever we hear a solution that we go, oh, have we heard of one of those before?
Yeah.
So the integration with the point of sales to be able to say, here's a standard way of collecting sales tax and calculating.
Correct. Yeah.
That's big. So
it is.
Hearing that, that is definitely an area that needed to be standardized.
Correct.
And it's not easy. And so just like with sales tax, that's difficult. Then whenever you have food involved.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I was going to say, when you start to hear about the taxability differences, and you guys have heard this before, right? With the candy bar, the flour content.
Fork, a knife.
Do you have a fork
I learned one
napkin?
yesterday that was
Right.
if you buy a bag of ice, it can be consumed. If it's a block of ice, it meets the definition of water.
Right.
It can't be taxed. I mean, there's a million different ways that they get around or do things.
Yeah, so that's awesome.
That's a big
that
one.
You've now got a solution
Yeah.
to cover that whole area. It needed something.
Yeah, for sure.
So many of us have steered clear of restaurants for many of reasons.
Yes.
One of them is sales tax.
Food can certainly be challenging.
Sure.
I was going to say, we have one of the founders with us.
Oh, we do.
Yeah, we do. He's right there.
Yes,
We can tag you in if you'd like to speak. We were just speaking about Davos. So.
Davo.
Yeah,
Yes.
come on. You want to talk?
Here you go.
Tell Davo.
Nothing like being
Yeah.
put on the
Come
spot.
steal the show.
Here, you
Come
can-
on, Davo, have a
I was
seat.
gonna say,
We have
I'll
a
take
whole-
a shoe back and you
whole
can.
tech thing that's
Look at this
happening over
basket.
here.
All right.
Okay, you got your shoe back. You're
I
good
do.
with your
You
shoe.
got your shoe.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right, so we were just talking about this unique thing that's happening over here with the sales tax and the point of sale, and that it's been difficult. And I was sharing the restaurant industry that's a
Yeah.
hard thing.
Mhm.
What would you like to share about this product and what it's been doing?
Well, the backstory is I spent almost 20 years in the restaurant industry, and sales tax was just the bane of my existence, the bane of it. And I found out that for the majority of restaurant owners, it's the bane of their existence too.
Us too, on our side.
Oh,
Just letting you know.
Yeah. And nobody's happy with it. Nobody is happy with this. There is no solution.
Right.
It's a manual process. It doesn't
It
matter
is.
how you slice it. And so the short story is I walked out of the kitchen one day and I was so frustrated. I said, why can't someone do my sales tax the way ADP does my payroll?
Ah.
Okay. And I, at that time in my restaurant, I had a merchant cash advance and they were taking a percentage of sales out of my credit card receipts. And I went to my bank and I said, you're taking 5% here. If you took 7% and put it in a separate account, that would solve my problem. I'd be 80% there every month. Okay. And they were like, no, we can't do that. And so being the youngest of 4 boys, I didn't take no for the answer.
Good for you. Good for you.
And I looked at the
Strong
terminal and I
Yeah.
said, the solution is right there.
Mhm.
And we figured out how to do it. My partner and I figured it out. We figured out how to manage the cash component of it so that all of it comes out of the credit card terminal. We got a patent on our process. Short story, we raised money. We went live in 2015. And the beauty of Davo is it integrates directly into the point of sale. It looks at every transaction. So in a coffee shop, it would see a $4 cup of coffee, 8% tax. In the POS, 32 cents of tax. At the end of the day, we look at every transaction, we total up the tax collected, we reach into the merchant's bank account and take the tax out of their account every day.
So
Wow.
the genius of that is it never is the client's money.
No,
It's never there.
it's the urban myth of the restaurant industry. I collect it, therefore I can use it.
Right.
Yes.
And I always tell restaurant owners, I tell
It's
them,
not alone.
listen,
It's not money
at
to
some
borrow.
point during the year,
Mhm.
the 20th of the month is going to fall on a Friday. Okay? The second Friday of every month in a restaurant is a payroll day. You will be faced with payroll and sales tax on the same day.
Yeah.
You will have to make a decision.
Brilliant.
Yep.
Who are you going to pay? Your employees so they show up tomorrow, or the state?
That we see that all too often.
Out of
don't we?
sight, out of mind.
Yeah, all
Yeah.
too often.
Right.
So we
see
set
that,
it
right?
aside, and then we fulfill that at the end of the
That's
month
great.
or the end of the tax period, the quarter. We actually do a reconciliation. We go back into the point of sale and we look at all of the transactions for that tax period and we compare it to what we took on a daily basis. And those two things have to line up. If it went offline, we'll pick it up. And then we actually fill out the tax
gosh.
return
I'm gonna
Yeah,
tell you,
yeah.
and we file and pay for the merchant.
Avalera, good job.
Yeah.
Good job.
Well done.
Yeah. So thank you for sharing. Your
Oh, my
solution
pleasure.
with
Thanks.
us. We are thankful to hear about it because it was something that we needed a bit to put words to it. Like that's
It's a simple solution to a complex problem.
simple solutions concept. Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We want to also have a special guest come over
We do.
here
We do.
and say, oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We want our special guest to come over here and say thank you to you. You've been our contact, Nick, at
Yes.
ADP. You have made so much magic happen.
Yes.
And we appreciate you.
We appreciate you guys.
Thank you. Thank you. We've had a great year.
We have.
Yeah, we've done a lot of really good content.
We
A lot of
have.
good stuff.
It
We
was
have.
needed stuff.
Mhm.
Being able to share all of the things that you do.
I mean, we were really honored to be partnered with ADP during this time and be able to help bring what you guys are doing to our community.
When there were so many payroll needs and so many
Absolutely.
HR needs out there,
Totally.
it was a really, really fun thing to be able to continue to say, well, there's more. Come look. There's so much more that's here.
You guys did a tremendous job just helping us, continue to raise awareness of everything that we do as a company and an organization to try and help small business owners and their accountant partners. So it's been an awesome partnership. It has been, it's been great. We've done a lot of really cool stuff, and you guys have really helped be a voice for us in this community because you're so well trusted and respected. And we've become, it's not, you guys aren't just partners of ours. We've also become friends through this, which has been great.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm going to say cheers.
Cheers.
This has been a great year.
Cheers.
It's been a great year.
Yep.
Absolutely.
All right. So I'm taking a drink.
All right.
Mhm.
Wait.
You
I
guys,
have
But
one more
next.
toast.
you guys didn't spare the good
Yes,
stuff
next-
either with this.
Next.
This is
love you.
smooth.
Love you.
Yeah.
So we only get the good stuff.
Mhm.
right?
It's great
Yeah.
bubbly.
Yeah. So good.
So one more toast. that
One
we
more
have,
toast.
because we know
We know. We have,
that,
yeah.
that today is a special day.
It is. I also found out that it's a special day for two people. We're lucky to have one of them
That's right.
with
Right
us.
here.
Yeah.
And so we want to say happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Cheers.
My wife asked me what I wanted for my birthday this year, and I told her, I said, how about a trade show in Texas?
I love it. I love it.
So,
Yes, I'm sure you did.
yeah, timing, honestly, I couldn't, as much as it pains me to not be home with my wife and my son today, I couldn't think of a better place to be than surrounded with the people that I spend so much time with during the day. Those hours from like 8 to 5 p.m., they consume us. And, I think it's super important that we take the time to really build those relationships and just enjoy what you do and enjoy the time that you spend with the people that you work with. And I can safely say that I get to do that every single day between the people that I work with at ADP, all my amazing colleagues, and our partners with you guys with the Appy Hour and other members of the Pro Advisor community that we have just built such great friendships over. It's been great.
Well, you have
We're here.
definitely become friends, family, and so we want to say happy birthday. We have some Sarah. We have some
We have some
yummy
cupcakes.
cupcakes right there.
Oh boy.
I
Yeah, we
also-
do.
What did you
We
do?
We have another member of
Oh,
your
they're propping
team
up our
that
light,
shares a
guys.
birthday with you. Is that right?
That's right.
And
Prop
she's
just
not
got
with
moved.
us here today, but Amy Salek, who
Yep.
we have worked with as well. It's her birthday as well.
Yes.
So Amy, wherever you are, happy
birthday, Amy.
Oh, wait, I
Sending
gotta get my drink back.
tons-
Happy birthday.
Tons
Yes.
of hugs.
How weird
We
is
love
that?
you.
So Amy is my boss, who runs our marketing and our channel marketing at ADP. How weird is it
Oh, yeah.
that we both share the same birthday?
Thank you.
Crazy, right?
That is
It
crazy.
is crazy.
It's never
So-
happened in the history of birthdays.
So cupcakes.
Are you chocolate or vanilla?
I am a vanilla guy.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
We're
So
gonna-
Oh,
you grab-
boy.
make sure those beautiful cupcakes.
Oh
right there.
man, dude, these are. This weighs like 40 pounds.
Yeah,
Right.
the box is intense.
Oh man.
Like that's how you know that it's good stuff, right?
Absolutely.
You guys are gonna join me in a
Oh
cupcake,
yeah,
huh?
Oh, yeah,
I'm
uh-huh.
totally.
Okay.
I'm taking this chocolate
All right, well, then I'm
cupcake
gonna
that
take
is
one of
really
these.
heavy.
You're right.
And I'm gonna say I'm gonna
This
go
is
for that
loaded
one right
with
All
there.
right.
icing.
I'm gonna put this down, and then
Mhm.
we're gonna
All right.
take bites together on 3, right?
All right.
Okay.
But like they
All
got to
right.
be like
Oh, we gotta get ready.
good meaty
Oh my
bites.
gosh.
Like
Are you
you
serious?
can't.
Come on,
Yeah.
I got gum in my mouth. What am I gonna do?
You better somebody get that. Somebody get her a napkin.
No, we're
Yeah,
just, I'm
here,
just gonna get
somebody
some
take
my-
Here, I
my-
got this.
Oh, you got that.
Yeah,
All right. Thank
I-
you, honey.
There you go.
Wait,
Happy
all right,
hour on
all
3.
right, all right.
1, 2,
2,
3.
3.
Happy hour.
Oh, that's good.
The best part is the frosting.
It is really good.
I didn't even go for cake.
You didn't even go for cake. She totally just took a whole mouthful of just frosting.
Mine, yeah, well, right? It's the best part. Like,
These are really good.
What's the name
the
of this bakery?
cupcake on the bottom of it, it's like that's just the holder.
Shout out to the
what-
local
what's
the
bakery.
frosting?
What is this bakery? Glitz.
Shout
Well
out
done,
to Glitz. Glitz
Yes.
Bakery in Fort
Yes.
Worth, Texas.
It's pretty. It's
All
pretty.
right.
Delicious. All right.
Yeah. So
All right, everybody.
we want to thank you for joining us.
Yes, this was
We
so much
are-
fun.
We are thankful for our friends. We're thankful for you, Nick. We are thankful for ADP and all of our community. And so we will be seeing you all around soon. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.